Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. And today I'm going to bring you my very late predictions for both Impact Wrestling Sacrifice and AEW's Revolution. Two very potentially big shows coming over this weekend. So let's get right into it. So, first up, we have Impact Wrestling's Sacrifice. And no, I will not be doing any Steiner math. You want that? Go look it up. It's hilarious. So we have two pre-show matches. It's first one, tag team match playa, as The Vibe, as myself and those in the Impact chat called them, Rich Swann and Willie Mack, take on Honor No More's OGK, aka Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. If you don't know, Honor No More is Ring of Honor's invading force who, basically without Ring of Honor, have forgotten their honor. Although now Ring of Honor is owned by AEW. So that's going to be interesting. As for winners, I really would like to see Swann and Mack get the win here. But I think OGK really need the win, get the momentum, and maybe go after the tag titles. I do know they're in the Crockett Cup, so that's going to be interesting in the NWA. So I think OGK get the win here. Next up, singles match, we have Lady Frost versus Janelle Shaw. Janelle Shaw, I am not super familiar with. I think she's only had one match under the Impact banner before. But she's more of a spotlight seeker. She's also relatively new. At least two relative new people. I think I'm going to go with Shaw. Don't know why, but I feel like this is building to her, even though I really like Lady Frost. She's great. Alright. Next match. We have the Champ Open Challenge as Purrazzo puts either her Ring of Honor Women's Championship on the line or her AAA Reina de Reinas Championship on the line against a mystery opponent. Now, the last few we've seen Miranda Alizé, Lady Frost has answered, there was someone else. Who am I forgetting? Anyway, so this is kind of her fourth in a row. And a lot of people have been saying, oh, it's Taya. I'm not sure if they're going to do that here or maybe wait until Rebellion, which personally I would. Maybe have her show up afterwards, but I think, you know what would be fun? Considering she's been in ROH for a while. Get Angelina Love back in the Impact Zone. I'd love to see that. No pun intended, I'm sorry. Angelina Love is a knockout OG. And past couple years or so, she's been in Ring of Honor. So, I think that would be that'd be a pretty interesting match. A little past meets present. And of course, Purrazzo gets the victory. Because Purrazzo's been on a roll so far. Next up, we got a big old hulking match as Jonah, the former Bronson Reed, takes on Pierre-Carl Ouellet. No, that's not who it is. It's PCO, the monster. Yes, Pierre was in WWF back in the day. He was one half of the Quebecers, if you remember them. Now he's got this, Frankenstein monster gimmick going on, and it's been a real great watch. Out of these two, though, I'm not sure who really needs the win more. because PCO just came in with Honor No More. But then you have Jonah, who's kind of coming on his own on loan from New Japan. I think Jonah gets the win here. Like, I know Honor No More's been on a roll lately. Although I think Vincent just lost this week, so that's interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Jonah. Jonah's my pick here. Next up, we have the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. As the Inspiration, the champs, Cassie Lee and Justin McKay, the former Iconics, take on the Influence, which is Madison Rayne and Tennille Dashwood. They've been trying to do this match forever now, and whether it be COVID protocols or scheduling conflicts or whatever, they haven't been able to do it, which is really sad. The kind of interesting story is the third wheel of Caleb with a K, who has been the manager of the Influence thus far. And the Inspiration have been trying to get him out of their corner, which has, I guess, kind of been an interesting story, but yeah, it's been something. It's been entertaining. I think the Inspiration keep the titles here, although there aren't really that many women's tag teams left in Impact right now. Although that maybe they get creative and they put Mickie James and Chelsea Green together. Have them tag up. Or maybe they do a title for title when the Hex comes around. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I think the Inspiration keep the titles. Next match, teacher versus student match, which I didn't even know, as we have Jay White take on the returning Alex Shelley. Now, Shelley, apparently his main job has been being a nurse during the pandemic, which is, great on him. He's one of those heroes. He has also been doing some wrestling for MLW. I remember him in the Opera Cup tournament, which was a lot of fun. Won by Davey Richards. And I had no idea Alex Shelley trained Jay White. I think that's really cool. And I think the student gets past the teacher on this one. Excuse me. And then maybe post-match we see the rest of the Bullet Club, or at least Chris Bay, considering he's not on the card anywhere, start to beat up Shelley. Boom, Chris Sabin comes out. And reunite the Motor City Machine Guns. I need them to get back together. They have, a rematch to cash in on the Good Brothers. I'm down for that. Alright, next match we have for the X Division Championship. We have Trey Miguel taking on Jake something. Now, Jake won a 4-way, I believe it was, that included Mike Bailey, Ace Austin, and who the heck else was it? I forget who else. In which Jake got a big surprise win, considering there's been rumors his contract is coming up soon, so we'll see what happens there. As much as I like Jake and I want to see him get a little bit elevated, Trey Miguel has been doing some great stuff with the X Division title. So I don't think it's time for him to lose the title yet. But then again, we have the issue of who else could it be? So, we'll see what happens there. Next match, Impact Tag Team titles on the line. As the Good Brothers, who have recently reunited with Jay White in Bullet Club, and they take on Violent by Design, which is any combination of Eric Young, Cody Deaner, and Joe Dorn. Because, they do the Freebird thing. Any combination of these three can enter the match. And as much as I would like Violent by Design to get a win, and I really like Violent by Design, I think EY opened up a whole lot of eyes in his match at No Surrender against Jay White, but I don't think it's quite their time. So I think we're going to get to see the Guns versus the Good Brothers over at Rebellion next month. Alright, next match. We have the Knockouts World Title match. At which we have Mickie James taking on Tasha Steelz. Now, obviously, Steele had her chance at No Surrender, lost it. Had a number one contenders match this past week, where Steele took on Chelsea Green, who has been really chummy with Mickie James. So I think that's going to turn into a heel turn for Green. I think Mickey's going to win it here. As much as I would like Tasha to win the big one and to get a decent run with the Knockouts title, I think this is Mickey's to win. And then afterwards, during the celebration, you have Chelsea Green in there celebrating. And then boom, she goes back to her hot mess gimmick. And then she's the next challenger, which I'm okay with. I'll be fine with. And finally, our main event, and I can't believe I'm saying this, as Moose defends his Impact World Heavyweight title against Heath. That's right, Heath Slater, a couple weeks ago, during a Moose promo, pretty much saying, who's left? Who's going to step up? And Heath stood up. He came out and challenged Moose. And I'm going to tell you, I'm kind of excited for this one. Oh, no, wait. I missed a match. Hold on. Next match, singles match, we have Rhino versus Eddie Edwards. Rhino, pretty much the big figurehead of Team Impact during their feud with Honor No More. And Eddie cost Team Impact against Honor No More at No Surrender. So this is a kind of a grudge match. I do not see, I'm sorry to say, I don't see Rhino winning here. I think this is Eddie Edwards' time to shine. Alright, main event, Moose versus Heath. I don't see Moose losing here. Although, again, here's kind of the issue. There's really no top baby faces left in Impact since, Josh Alexander's contract expired. Now, I do hope the plan is, they get him back and he makes a surprise appearance somewhere. Maybe even tomorrow. That'd be interesting, right? And, maybe he gets his title at Rebellion, which I'd be okay with. Heath. Don't get me wrong. I like Heath. Heath Slater is a heck of a character. I love his team with Rhino. This kind of feels like a step down for Moose. I feel like Moose is one of the top level guys in Impact, maybe even in wrestling right now. But he needs a credible challenger somewhere. And right now, Impact kind of doesn't really have that. Maybe they could build up Rich Swann as a singles guy again. Have him challenge. I don't know. It's a very interesting situation that I'm kind of ready for. Let's do this. Alright, so that's Sacrifice. Oop. Now we are looking at AEW Revolution, which honestly should be a great, great bunch of matches. And speaking of first match on the pre-show, we have our pay-per-view debut of Hook. Now, Hook has pretty much been Mr. AEW Rampage, and he's been squashing everybody. And apparently QT Marshall had a hand in training Hook. If you don't know who Hook is, he's the son of Taz, who is kind of a living legend. He leads Team Taz, he has his place on commentary, and he's a damn good wrestler in his own right. And he's facing QT Marshall. I think Hook gets the win here. This is going to be an easy, snappy, maybe 15-second match. Make Hook look like $1 million, and then move on to the next thing. Next pre-show match, we have legit Layla Hirsch taking on Chris Statlander. Now, Statlander has said in a promo on this past episode of Dynamite that she's going to bring something a little different to this match. Now, if that's a gimmick change, I'm not sure. If it's a more serious character, I don't know. I think either way, I think Layla Hirsch gets the win here, because as much as I like Statlander, and I really do, I think Hirsch needs a bit more of a win. Next up, first match on the main card, we have Jade Cargill defending her TBS title against Tay Conti. This match shouldn't really last that long. As much as I like Jade Cargill and Ty, this shouldn't be a match that lasts long, and Jade Cargill gets another big win. Now, with that being said, do we see a surprise debut here? Personally, I don't think so, because that would overshadow Jade. Maybe an Athena could come out. Maybe we see Mia Yim. Who knows? We'll see. Next up, in a 6-man tornado tag match, which means everyone's in the ring and it's all action. We have the AHFO, which is Andrade El Idolo, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy of Private Party. And they are taking on Sammy Guevara, the current TNT champion, although maybe we'll see what happens tonight, and Sting and Darby Allin. Personally, I don't like the AHFO. They kind of served their purpose already. And I think this is going to be, considering Jeff's going to be a free agent very, very soon, I think this is going to be the match that Matt Hardy walks out of, and he tells Andrade to do whatever he wants with this group. So yeah, I think Sammy, Sting, and Darby get the win here. And where this leads, I'm not sure. Hopefully more of a push for Andrade, because I like Andrade. Alright, next match up. We have potential banger. As it's a triple threat for the AEW Tag Team titles. We have Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus defending against Red Dragon, which is Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole's crew, and the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson. Again, kind of Adam Cole's crew. Kind of. It's difficult. They've been at odds. They kind of work together-ish. So here's how I see this going down. I think at first we're gonna have Red Dragon and the Bucks reluctantly working over Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. And I think one point, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus are on the outside. You have a stare down between Red Dragon and Young Bucks, and then they just go at it. It's going to be a big old pop moment. And then I do believe Jurassic Express will take advantage for the win. Personally, I don't think the Red Dragon, Young Bucks, Adam Cole triangle really needs the titles. Although I will say Jurassic Express's title reign has been a little Like, they've been having some great matches, but it's been kind of a little lackluster reign. Hopefully that changes in the near future, and I think Jurassic Express retains. Next up, we have an interesting little match here. Jon Moxley takes on Bryan Danielson. Holy crap, I want this match so bad that it's kind of killing me. Like, these two are going to have a great match. Danielson has kind of been trying to recruit Moxley for a group he's kind of trying to start. But I think it's going to end like this. I think we're going to have Moxley win. Then it looks like Danielson's going to get up and shake his hand. Then attack. Out comes some others Danielson has been having matches with, including Lee Moriarty, Daniel Garcia, potentially Wheeler Yuta. And there has been talk of Claudio Castagnoli, formerly known as Cesaro, coming in, because he's a free agent now. But I think the new Dragon Den stable is going to be Danielson, the American Dragon, Liam Moriarty, Daniel Garcia, and Wheeler Yuta. So that's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see where this goes. Next up, a very interesting feud I've definitely had my eye on. We have Chris Jericho versus Eddie Kingston. Now, the story here has been, Eddie Kingston has been trying to kind of break up the inner circle. And Jericho's been saying, oh, you want to be me. You're not a star. You're a jobber. Yada, yada, yada. And honestly, if you want a great promo from these two, look at them from, not this past week, maybe a week before that. It's definitely been an interesting little feud. And I think here is what's going to happen. Looks like Jericho might have the advantage, might make Eddie tap to the walls of Jericho. Out come Santana and Ortiz, who this past week, during a backstage segment, fist bumped Jericho, which really makes me think, yeah, they're going to be turning on Jericho Sunday. So I think what happens is they get on the ring apron, kind of distracting Jericho, and then Eddie Kingston gets the win, and then they all walk out. Eddie, Santana, and Ortiz walk out together. And that's a pretty dang good heel trio. So I'm good with that. Next up, the Face of the Revolution ladder match, where the winner gets a future TNT title shot. Participants: newcomer Keith Lee, Orange Cassidy, freshly squeezed, Powerhouse Ricky Hobbs, fellow Team Taz member Ricky Starks, also the FTW champion, Wardlow, and either Christian Cage or Ethan Page, who have a match tonight on Rampage. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize. Considering Keith Lee is kind of the newcomer here, I think he would get the win. But I think he'll also have an interesting thing going on with Wardlow and MJF. Because MJF kind of employs Wardlow, not AEW. And he's been saying if Wardlow wins this match and then the TNT title, everything goes to Max. But then this past week, he pretty much told Wardlow, oh, you can keep the TNT title if you win this match. And then Wardlow said something snarky, and MJF slapped him in the face. In which that face turn is going to be massive. Like, Wardlow feels big right now. That is what my heart would say. I think in my head, I think I gotta go Keith Lee. He's the newcomer in there. He needs to get a pretty big push for right now. Plus, Sammy Guevara versus Keith Lee. That'd be awesome. Or Andrade versus Keith Lee. Or Darby versus Keith Lee. Yes, stick that in my veins. Next up, for the AEW Women's Championship, we got Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, taking on Thunder Rosa. Now, these two have faced off in... I believe they had one match prior to their Lights Out match on St. Patrick's Day last year. Which I can't believe that. I believe Baker won that first match, and then that second match was Rosa on her way out, potentially to the NWA, because she was still signed there. Now she's all elite. As much as I want to say Thunder Rosa, and I really want to say Thunder Rosa, you know what? Screw it. Let's go Thunder Rosa. Like, don't get me wrong. I've kind of liked Britt Baker's reign, although it kind of feels like, Jinder Mahal's WWE title reign, where he'd get in the ring, do a few moves, get saved by his minions, and then win it. Like it feels that formulaic to me. So I think to freshen some things up, I think Thunder Rosa deserves a run with the title. Even if it's a short one, I'd be okay with that. Next up, a match I have been looking forward to. CM Punk versus MJF dog collar match. Now, these two have clashed before. The more recent one was in Chicago, in which MJF got a big win, which, that's kind of crazy. Punk got this rematch by teaming up with Sting and Darby Allin to take on... oh no, that's not right. No, that isn't right. Punk and Moxley beat FTR to win this shot. And Punk was to choose a stipulation for it. And he picked a dog collar match, considering Max has been comparing himself to Roddy Piper, whose main big feud was against Greg the Hammer Valentine in a dog collar match. So, we got that parallel. Also, we've kind of been digging into the real story of Max's childhood, where he would get bullied and called names, and then he had a meeting with Punk at some meet and greet, or whatever the heck it was. And then Punk said to him, oh, this is just, some Friday. And then then when Punk left, that kind of affected Max, who kept pushing on with wrestling and is where he is. And then this past week was a bloody mess. Left Punk bloodied and just, ooh, it's so good. Ugh. I want Max to win this match. You know, despite him being a Long Islander, I think he needs to put a pin in this and then maybe move on with something else. Like maybe Punk, you know, challenges Bryan in his new Dragon Den stable. And I think it's time to push MJF up the card a little. You know, get him into that world title picture. So I think Max gets the win here. And our main event for the World AEW World Heavyweight title. We have the Battle of the Atoms as Hangman Adam Page defends his title against Adam Cole, baby. Cole, I'll say this about Adam Cole. I do think this match is going to be great. The last two feuds he's been in with Jungle Boy and Jurassic Express, and then Best Friends in Orange Cassidy, he's lost. So I think this is one of the weaker challengers Hangman's kind of had. So it's hard to me to choose, because as much as I want to see Cole kind of elevated up the ladder a bit, it doesn't seem like it's his time yet. Like, I do believe we'll see him in the future. Maybe he wins it there. But I think this is Hangman Page's match to lose. So I think he's going to get a big old win. I'm not sure if Red Dragon or the Young Bucks get involved, like the Bucks did last time with Hangman versus Omega. But I think Hangman keeps the titles. Alright, those are my predictions for Sacrifice and Revolution. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your predictions for either show or both. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And I shall see you next time. Peace.